Hello warriors, so for today's video, we are here at the Knesset to learn something about the Israel parliament.
Again, welcome to the Israeli parliament. The Israeli parliament is called the Knesset, and I would like to tell you a few words about the name itself. And the question is, of course, why have we given it a name? We could call it the Israeli parliament, full stop. That sounds reasonable. Most countries have a parliament and they call it a parliament. We call it the Knesset. Does the word Knesset ring any bell to any of you? Yeah?
Doesn't it mean synagogue?
Yes. It doesn't mean synagogue, but you're absolutely correct. The word for synagogue in Hebrew is Beit Knesset. Beit is a house. So Beit Knesset would be the house of the Knesset. And the Jews who lived in Yemen were very, very known for being great artists working in filigree. To the point that in 1948, when Israel became a state and when most of them came to Israel, there were no more jewelers in Yemen. They had all come to Israel, and this kind of art doesn't exist anymore in Yemen today because it was such a Jewish speciality. One more thing, we can see it later on in the way because I would like to catch the wall. Here at the very end of this row is a pomegranate. This pomegranate is 1500 years old, and although we like to believe that it is something very typically Jewish, it is not. It is a very, very old symbol that was used all over the Middle East and the Caucasus as a symbol of richness. And I don't know if you know, for example, in Iran and in several Arab countries, when there are feasts, there will be meat and there will be pomegranates on top of that, showing again that it's a feast and it's something very, very rich. And you don't know where the symbol comes from, but it's interesting that a pomegranate would be used probably as a religious symbol already 1500 years ago. So let's get back to politics.
It's not just Christians.
I see that you looked at those two letters first. Right. Be given the opportunity to speak. Now here in the committee, they go over the proposal, they look at the judicial side of things, they go over each and every sentence to see if it doesn't go against any other law, if it doesn't go against any of the basic laws in the country, and they work on the proposal, and once they have a ready copy, something they think is ready, they send it back to the plenary hall, where it needs to go through 3 different readings. After the first reading, it normally comes back again to the committee for changes, and then it goes for a second reading in the plenary hall. If it goes through a secondary reading, it usually goes also through a third reading on the very same day. It becomes a law. It's written into the book of laws. Now, this is if an MK has proposed a law. If the government has proposed a bill, then it will only have 3 years. So once if it goes through, it goes into the book. But now that doesn't really mean that the committee has finished its job, but they also have to make sure that something is done with this law. It's great to have these beautiful laws, but if you don't do something about them, then of course they're totally useless. So it's also up to the committee to make sure that this law is put into work. And that's what they do, among other things. They can bring the minister in here and ask him what he's done with this law. They can also ask the minister what his plans are for the future, what he's going to do with the budget that he has received. And in this way, the committees are also functioning
as a checkup on the work that is being done by the government.